I'm seeing in the chat that we might be live on the Image Comics channel. I'm just checking that right now.
Okay. Yeah, sorry guys, if we are live, we're having some issues.
Yeah, we're
It's a
not
good
live
thing
on
no one
YouTube.
did a secret swear
I know,
word or
Eduardo.
anything like that.
Yeah.
Start sending us your video from your stream. Stream setup help. Copy. Just start sending us your stream. Is it live on the Image YouTube?
YouTube, no,
Uh,
it's not live.
no,
It's
it looks
waiting
like
for the massive versus.
I know, Eduardo, on the Image YouTube.
Oh, sorry.
we were live for 1 minute and 43 seconds,
Okay.
and now we're not live.
Okay. Why is it not? Okay. I mean, can you message in the chat and let them know somehow? YouTube's not currently receiving data. Is it a stream key? Hey Siri, call Jim Viscardi. It looks like there's
You might want to
12
mute yourself in case we are live. We are live on the Image channel, I'm hearing. Hey there, folks. We're just sorting out just some technical difficulties. If you're seeing this, we don't have technical difficulties. You know about it. So it's only the people who... Okay, we're working on it. Oh, Eduardo's in the chat as well. Hey, Eduardo.
Hi, Michael.
Yes, we are hella live. Unfortunately, we're not hella live in the other place where everybody's watching. So, Kyle's just trying to sort that out right now. How's everyone doing? How are you doing, Eduardo? Hey, Eduardo, do you want to show them your sword?
I don't. I'm not sure if I want to show them my
Okay, that's
sword.
too private. That's fine. I
You're
understand.
you're already you already told them. So here's my sword.
So Eduardo's got a sword. We're not going to ask any
Yeah.
more questions about that. We're just going to let that happen.
Let her rest here. What time is it in Australia, Michael?
Right now it is 1:13 p.m. Eduardo, it's the afternoon. I had some lunch. I was doing some work, and now I'm here.
Okay, sorry about that. So we are live actually now. We are on unfortunately a different channel.
But we are live. So we going?
Okay. So I think we're good, right? We're actually doing this. Apologies, folks. We're usually a lot more polished than this. We're trying a new streaming platform so that we could do better integration with all of our kind of new initiatives that we're looking for with the start of our Massiveverse rebuild era. And part of that's going to include kind of a new, I don't want to say focus on, but definitely a little bit more of a focus on some content creation on a bit more of a regular basis from us, live streams like this. They'll be smoother next time. We're going to be putting out more clips across social, just trying to raise more general awareness about the line, what we're doing, and hopefully get some more people to check out what I think should be yours and their new favorite superhero universe. So I guess we should probably just kick it off then, Michael. I'll start. I'll introduce myself. My name is Kyle Higgins. I am the writer and co-creator of Radiant Black. Depending on what order we are actually showing up on your screen, Marcelo Costa here is one of two brilliant artists and the co-creator of Radiant Black. The second brilliant artist here, Eduardo Ferigato, hopefully is having better internet now. It sounds like there were some technical issues, Eduardo, down in Brazil. I'm seeing in the chat as well, real quick, that there are some more people waiting in the other thread. We actually can't get access to that stream for some reason. So if you guys could keep messaging in the chat to let people know, hey, we're actually over here, that would be great. Essentially what happened was when we published the initial link, we made an update, and instead of it updating the original link, apparently Riverside FM just creates an entirely new stream, which is very good to know now.
Yes,
not as
it looks
helpful.
like we might also be streaming on the Massiveverse feed in a video called "Welcome to our live show!" Exclamation mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, Massiveverse feed on YouTube.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. So we are on the Massiveverse YouTube
Yep.
streaming, but it's just not at the link that we sent out to literally everyone. So we'll live and learn. This was definitely a Marshall move. It feels like over Nathan. But are you able to message in that thread, Michael?
I can do my best to do that and host this as well. Let me see what I can do. 1 second.
So the last member of our merry crew here is the gentleman who is currently messaging the thread that or the YouTube channel that is not active, but we unfortunately sent out all our messages to go to, which was this is Michael Busuttil. He is our editor and our designer. He is our North Star on all things Massiveverse, as well as all of the books that we do as a part of Black Market Narrative. We would not be able to do any of this without Michael, would we, guys?
Yeah, you would.
Absolutely not.
You just had to find like a different guy, a secret second Michael.
Let's see if I can jump in here.
Okay, why don't we?
Michael is like Wendo.
We're live in like 3 different places. Who knows where they are? We'll find them. Tomorrow I'll discover that we went live on like Timu or something that didn't exist. But we might as well I think we have to just pretend that we know what we're doing, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Why don't we start by talking about Radiant Black? I imagine that most of the people who are watching us here know what Radiant Black is, but there's probably some who don't. We're live on the Image Comics channel as well. Radiant Black is, I mean, Kyle, you're good at this pitch. It's a superhero comic from Image Comics. We are heading into our 5th year next month, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. I mean, I literally wrote a message the other day, or what was I writing, Michael? It was some sort of letter, maybe to retailers, which is something that we'll be talking about in a few minutes here. And I think I wrote like that we were going into year 4, and you quickly corrected me and said year 5, and I said that there's absolutely no way that is true, but it turns out it actually is. Time really does fly when you're building universes. I guess the best way to describe it, the quick pitch on Radiant Black. So this is it's the flagship title of our creator-owned superhero universe at Image Comics. The books we make as a part of our creative collective studio, Black Market Narrative. It's I like to describe Radiant Black as it's a very contemporary superhero series about two disillusioned millennials. Let me try that again. I like to describe Radiant Black as a contemporary superhero series about two disillusioned millennials navigating failed dreams and credit card debt with the help of existential black holes and um, uh, what's the other thing that helps them, Michael? Now I'm blanking.
Giant
What's
Cool.
my and giant robots. Thank you, Eduardo. Existential black holes and giant robots help them navigate their failed dreams and crippling credit card debt. So we've been publishing for 4 years now. We really pride ourselves with this book and really the entire line in the Massiverse on a couple things. One is accessibility. So every title in the universe really is its own thing. There's interconnective tissue, but you only have to read the series that you are interested in. So all the books are also owned by their core creative teams. Once a year, we do a 50-page special. It's a one-shot called Supermassive, where all the characters team up in a done-in-one story. And if you've read all the titles up to that that month's Supermassive, it's additive to every character's story arc. But if you haven't read any of the titles or some of the titles, you will learn everything you need to know in that single issue. So it's additive, but not necessarily necessary. Again, trying to make it as modular as possible so that people have a lot of accessible, access points into the line. The
So
second thing that
speaking,
we
Kyle, oh no, you go on.
I was going to say the second thing that we really pride ourselves on is taking really big swings. And we like to try to push the boundaries on what a superhero comic book, a comic book in general, can be. So we do a lot of things that play with the medium itself. Immersion is a really big thing for us. And it really, for me, comes from a place of trying to put a little bit of magic back into the world and into this genre and medium that I have loved my whole life. And it's capturing some of that feeling that I had growing up with superheroes and both comics, animated series, and the movies of really kind of like the early 2000s. But we're doing it for the 2020s. So that means we do things like, with Radiant Black, all the superpowers come from miniature black holes. So when we do stories inside the black hole, we do it all with fluorescent Pantone ink. So the entire comic is a blacklight comic. We've done secret animated short films through QR codes in the book itself, and those films are also in universe with Batman Beyond and Boy Meets World's Will Friedle voicing Marshall Ward. We've got a big upcoming audiobook starring Will Friedle and Ryder Strong, also from Boy Meets World, along with Ann Yatko from Jujutsu Kaisen, Melissa Navia from Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Todd Stashwick from Star Trek Picard, as well as our big Who Is No One audio series. Josh Keaton is going to be joining us for a yet-to-be-announced role. Oh, yeah, and some guy, I think he's got a future. Troy Baker is going to be voicing our favorite anti-hero bad boy of the Massiverse, Shift. And this is something that, again, we're trying to get the stuff out there in different forms that also kind of loops back on itself and creates this more immersive tapestry as a publishing line. So Michael, you can jump in there. I've probably rambled enough for the time being.
Yeah, so despite all of those things, issue 31 is what's coming up in February, and it's a great time to get on board. There's a lot of stuff that's happened already, a lot of stuff that's about to happen. Issue 30.5 was our most recent issue that came out sort of late last year. That was the end of a big story arc that we called the Catalyst War that we'll talk about a little bit more in a sec. But issue 31 picks up a little while later. There's a bit of a breath in the story, a bit of a break. Now is a great time to get on board. So if you would like to catch up on everything so far, all the issues so far are collected in 6 trade paperbacks, Radiant Black volumes 1 through 6. The first 2 of those are also collected in one hardcover called the Massive Edition. That came out late last year, should still be available from stores. You can also go to radiant.black/catchup, and read completely for free a book we put together called Radiant Black: The Story So Far, which is it's 12 or 14 pages that summarize everything that's happened so far. So if you just want to give it a taste, see if that's a book for you, see if it's something you'll be interested in, that's a great way to check out what we've done, get yourself in gear for issue 31, which comes out next month.
So the point of jumping on this live stream tonight specifically, we are entering a new era for Radiant Black as well as the Massiverse as a whole. We are calling it our rebuild era. And it's for two different reasons. There's story reasons, and then from a meta, kind of in the meta sense, you know, last year, the Catalyst War was something that we are all immensely proud of. We are all, I would say, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, still recovering from in some ways. It was an incredibly ambitious storytelling endeavor. Without spoiling too much for anyone who hasn't read it yet but wants to dive into the trade paperbacks, we essentially did something that no one has ever done in comics before. We created a situation where the fate of Radiant Black and who was going to carry the mantle was actually determined by you, the readers. And so after doing a vote, we then published issue 25 of Radiant Black, which was to give the answer as to who would be Radiant Black on the eve of the big machine empire Catalyst, who the powers come from, actually coming to Earth looking to take back what is theirs. And we did give the answer at the end of issue 25, but we were a little sneaky, and we actually gave two answers. So we made two different endings. One of the endings, the characters chose Marshall to be Radiant Black, and that was illustrated brilliantly by Eduardo here. And in the other ending, the characters chose Nathan to be Radiant Black, which was illustrated by Marcelo. And then we announced that that's actually the secret of the Catalyst War, and that for the next 6 chapters, we were going to be continuing the book as two unique timelines diverging with two different art teams doing two completely different comics that overlap because they're diverging timelines, but then also have to come back together. So it was incredibly ambitious. It took us a long time. We all had personal setbacks throughout the year as well. I had some big surgeries. And now we're back. We put out the last issues of the Catalyst War, issue 30 and 30.5, which are then collected in volume 6 of the trade paperback, which just came out. And then that came out in October. And so we wanted to take the next couple months to kind of reset and plan our future and get some stories banked so that we could be back on time and with a new jumping on point. So that jumping on point we're calling Radiant Black Rebuild because the events of the Catalyst War, while this is a jumping on point, those events matter and very much have weight with regards to what the future of the book is going to look like. So Marshall is now our permanent Radiant Black, which reflects your vote. We can get into the vote a little later, Michael, but it was close. It was very close, actually. And so Nathan has moved back to Los Angeles. Marshall is the new Radiant Black. And after seeing a timeline where things went terribly wrong, where he was Radiant Black, this Marshall is determined to not make the same mistakes and to become a better person and level up as a hero. But with the city under siege and the aftermath of the destruction from the big Catalyst Empire, the robot remains, the proliferation of the 001 technology and weapons that all charge by being near the Radiants themselves, Chicago's in a really perilous place. And in order for Marshall to level up, first he's going to have to keep the bottom from falling out. So the rebuild applies to not only the line, but the city, and what the future of Marshall's tenure as a hero is going to look like, as well as the threats that he's going to be facing.
Yeah. And I just want to, we'll take some questions at the end, but I just want to cover a question that I'm seeing here from Garzilla. Will we ever see the alternate ending to the Catalyst War? And the secret answer is that's not how we did it. We didn't like make both endings. We didn't completely write and prepare an ending where Marshall was Radiant Black and an ending where Nathan was Radiant Black. We found out the answer and then built the story to go that way. Thank you, Marcelo. And I was seeing another question here. Hold on. I wonder if Nathan's going to take a step back and be absent from the series. Kyle, I think we can say at this point, yeah, for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way: issue 31 is it's done. Eduardo is working through issue 32 right now. Nathan is not in either issue. So when Nathan has decided to go kind of try again back in Los Angeles, that does mean he's moving on with this part of his life, at least for now. And I say for now only because these two are best friends, and this book has very much been from the get-go a two-hander, meaning that it's really about the relationship between these two millennial best friends. And so that part's not going to change. Like there will be a dynamic between these two as the book, goes on. But what that dynamic is going to be very different because of the kind of the nature of the dynamic in their new relationship, or how it's changed in their new relationship.
Yeah, sometimes part of having a best friend is having that person not be living where you are and able to hang out all the time. And that's as much a part of it as them being your sidekick while you're a superhero.
Yeah, I think that's a great way of putting it. Also, Michael, I don't know are you able to put up...
I can be a sidekick, Nathan. Nathan can be Marshall's sidekick.
Yeah, he'll come back, he'll put on some really short tights and it'll be like bright red and yellow and jumping around everywhere.
Yeah, and Marshall can carry him, flying next to him, carrying stuff for him.
I love it.
Answering phone calls and all.
Exactly.
Sorry, Nathan.
Kyle, what were you about to ask me to put on screen?
No, I was just going to ask, are you able to highlight comments, Michael, up on screen as well, or am I the only one that's able to?
I have no idea how to do that. I don't think so.
So if you move your mouse over the comment itself...
Yep, don't have an option.
It doesn't say show on screen? No?
No.
Okay.
That's got to be
Just curious.
All right. So that's where we're at sort of coming into issue 31. I would like to talk about some of what we're going to be seeing over this next arc. And we are going to
secrets? Do you mean secrets,
I
Michael?
do mean secrets. And we're going to be so careful, you guys. Everyone's making a pledge right now. We're not spoiling anything. We're just going to show some cool stuff, okay? Kyle, are you able to bring up maybe one of the new villains we're going to see this arc? Maybe someone who Marcelo designed?
I think I could do something like that.
So Eduardo, the incredibly capable Eduardo, is drawing this arc, but Marcelo is on all of our covers and also designed a whole bunch of the new characters who are showing up in this arc, including some pretty cool dudes.
Who do you want me to show?
As he always does, right?
I would love you to show... do you want to show the yellow one? If I say that, do you know what I mean?
I do. I don't know if I have that one. Let me see here. Are they in... Marcelo, did you upload all of these?
Yes, new character 3.tiff.
In the Radiant Black folder? Are you... You can share screen, Michael, I think.
Oh, I'm so worried I'll share the wrong thing. I have a unrevealed cover open in another window. But let me see what I can do.
We can show the people what they're here for, Michael.
It's good that you guys show the covers to me here too, because Marcelo never showed them. Marcelo never shared them to me.
Yeah, I showed you.
His browser needs... Your browser needs sharing, screen sharing permission, Michael.
Yeah, look, we'll find out if we're able to do that or not. Let's see if this happens. Can people see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is a new character who might be showing up at some point in some capacity. Marcelo and Eduardo. Marcelo, what can you tell us about you basically went to the drawing board and just started turning in like a dozen of the coolest things we've ever seen. What was your process like for making these guys?
My process for the creation of characters. I love uh, modern styles, but I love too the classics, Super Sentai classics. I love the designs, Jack Kirby designs, but I try to make dynamic, uh, dynamic designs. Um, I love the helmets. So I don't know, just appear in my mind, but I don't do this only. Me and Kyle and Michael, um, it very a lot of design. Try again, notes. So it is not a simple process. It's a days process, right, Kyle?
Yeah, it is
Something
usually.
like that.
Yeah, but the thing that's really cool is that Marcelo and I will work in two different ways. Sometimes we'll work where I have a concept for a character, and Marcelo and I talk about that character, and Marcelo then works up some different designs. Other times, though, we know we want to do some characters, and we're not sure. We're still finding certain stories, and so Marcelo has done a lot of designs in the background that he then shares. And Joe Clark, who unfortunately was not able to join us tonight because he has a huge music rehearsal for something he's conducting, I believe, but we'll actually look at the designs and then we'll build characters and stories for those designs. So this one, well, I'm not going to say which way this one started, but she's going to be a lot of fun in this going forward in the series. We're not ready to reveal a name yet, but again, if you remember, all of the 001 technology is out there, and that means that in the aftermath of the Catalyst War, and not only Chicago, but based on the events at the end of issue 30 and 30.5, where Radiant Black turns into essentially a giant black hole event horizon, the world. In the aftermath of all that, people are a little concerned about what that's going to look like for the future and whether or not they can really just sit back and trust that the powers that be, like Radiant Black and the Franklin Group and Kieran, are really actually going to be able to protect him. So there's a little bit more of a kind of citizen-led initiative that's starting. And in the way that the pandemic was kind of a catalyst for the QR code proliferation in the world, the actual Catalyst Empire and aftermath of the machine wreckage and all the dead robot parts and everything else, that's its own kind of catalyst towards what the next stage of the Chicago and Radiant Black rebuild are going to be like as these new characters come from all different places, all with their own kind of motivations and goals and their own feelings about what happened in Chicago, but also how the world is starting to shift and change in the aftermath of this, kind of very scary, in some ways, like, pandemic level significant event that has affected everyone in different and unique ways.
Kyle, should we show like one more? One more?
I mean, okay, chat. Do we want to only show one more? Because then we have to make a tough call on which one to show. Or do you want to see more than
two
one?
more?
Here's the other thing too, because we did promise donuts, and there is something for those who don't know. We put out a reel today Shout out to Dan Exclaims, who helped me behind the scenes to answer some questions as I was trying to figure out how to do this for YouTube. And the title is Radiant Black Will Make You Rethink Donuts. So we actually have a few that are they're on stream. I promised John Suntress on Word Balloon the other night that we would have donuts on stream. So
That's
I
not
don't
fair.
know.
Yeah, you didn't
You
tell
should
us
have
to get
sent
donuts.
donuts to
We all
of
could have
us.
gone to get
Yeah.
donuts. You didn't tell us.
Now I'll have to watch you eating donuts.
But I can't eat them until we actually get into donut territory. So I guess we can't just show one, Michael. We have to give the people more.
Okay, would you like me to show first? Let's say we're going to show two. Would you like me to show the new guy in the jacket? You know the guy I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Or a bunch of different guys all at once?
Let's show the different guys all at once.
Okay.
And then we'll do the jacket.
Okay. I will share that right now. And you have to work out what you're allowed to say about these guys.
These are pretty cool, aren't they? So
Is that it?
remember
Would
how-
you like me to... Oh, no, you got more to say. Okay, that's fair enough.
So remember how we said that there was going to be some
Repercussions
to the events of the Catalyst War. Well, there's also going to be some different opinions and groups that will be starting to proliferate not only in Chicago but across the web of the world, and their thoughts and feelings about what is going on with Radiant Black, and what else might be going on that they might be theorizing, whether they're right or wrong, is going to lead into some really tricky territory for our characters. If you look at some of these fine folks, you'll notice that there's a whole bunch of different gear that they're using that may look eerily familiar. Here's what I'll say. There were a lot of destroyed Catalyst robots, and those robot parts are everywhere. And they're also very useful. If you remember those Catalysts, or the Catalyst robots, some of them in particular, really the Radiant abilities didn't work particularly well on their outer shells. And so you can see here the helmets for some of these guys are actually made up of dead robot heads, strapped on parts that some of the other crew have makeshift wise. And then, Michael, what are those? Almost looks like symbols there that they've got on.
No,
on
that's
their...
nothing. That's definitely nothing, for sure. That's not... I wouldn't be worried about that at all.
It's probably not connected to...
Nothing. Not connected to anything. It's perfectly safe. Don't worry about it. They're just friendly neighborhood guys who like wearing robot helmets.
We want to show, completely unrelated, the jacket guy?
Yeah, let's show them the jacket guy. And then we have to... There's other guys in this folder, but I don't think we can show you all those guys.
We'll see what the chat says.
Yeah, I know
You
what
guys
the
can
chat
try
says.
to see through Michael's glasses.
Oh, who is this guy here?
Now, Kyle, you need to be so careful.
I do. I actually do on this one. But I could tell you his name. Oh, that didn't really pop up the way I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to.
But it's there.
Here, tell you what. Let's do it. We'll do it this way. Let me change the layout to full screen, and there it is. Is the text there now? No.
Nope.
Nope.
It's on
Wherever
the
you
other,
think you're
in
putting
the
it,
other
it's not
corner.
working.
Yeah.
It's right there. So this character we're calling him Jaeger, and his story is one that you'll be learning more about over the course of the next few issues. What he thinks about all of this. What are those? I mean, his helmet looks. Those two.
Kyle, I'm telling you, it's nothing, man. Chill out. It's not anything. Don't worry about it.
I mean, it looks similar. Huh. I wonder if there's probably nothing. You're right. There's no connection there at all.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Everything is good and fine. He's going to come over and they're going to have a nice lunch at a bar, and then he's going to go home.
He does look like a sandwich guy. Like he would love a good panini.
He's got all those pockets to store his panini in. Those are panini pockets.
They're panini pockets, yeah. Okay. So, wow, there's a lot going on in the chat. I can't, in the old StreamYard, I used to be able to highlight messages so that we could bring them back later, but unfortunately...
Well, Jason is asking, does he get cold in the suit to need the jacket? No, as we said, those are for putting his panini in. It's not about cold, it's about an ability to carry sandwiches.
Yeah, it really... You don't want your sandwich to get soggy. There's nothing worse than a soggy sandwich.
Yeah. No.
They're actually insulated. They're insulated pouches.
You're out fighting crime, and you're like, oh man, I haven't had lunch today. You just reach into a pocket and you pull out a panini. It's perfect.
Yeah, I think Zion. I think you're right. He's definitely not an anti-hero. I think.
He's definitely not an anti-hero.
Probably accurate.
Right, so those characters are all coming up over the next couple of issues, over the next arc or so. People have probably seen the covers, but we should show people the covers, right?
Oh, we should absolutely show the covers, and we should talk about all of the exciting things we're going to be doing with the covers here. So, especially because Final Order cutoff is not until February 3rd, so you all still have time to alert your stores, and if there are any retailers watching this stream, that they can order accordingly. We are going to be doing an A cover. We are going to be doing a B cover. The B cover is going to be a connecting set across issues 31 through 36, drawn by the wonderful Ricardo Ribaldo. And then we're going to be doing a 1 in 25 C cover, and that C cover is also going to be foil. So it's a 1 in 25 foil cover. That means that a store needs to order 25 copies of the book to get 1 copy of the foil. And we've got some pretty fun collaborators joining us, some for the first time on those 1 in 25 foils. So maybe we can show, let's show the first 1 in 25 foil, Michael, because it's actually done by Marcelo, and it's a piece that we've had for a little while and wanted to find the right home for. And the idea of doing it in this very cool foil edition feels like it's going to be, dare I say, simply radiant. So there we go.
It's great. It's a cool cover. It's going to look sick in the foil.
So then we could do our A cover next, Michael, which
I can do that.
The main cover of issue 31 here.
Here we go.
Beautiful cover.
Drawn by the wonderful Eduardo.
My boy Marshall.
Is that your new name, Eduardo? The wonderful Eduardo?
Yeah, I think you can say that.
And then our B cover for issue 31 by Ricardo.
Now, Kyle, will I just show them the one B cover? Or will I show them the all B cover?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Why don't we show let's show the one first.
Yeah.
And then we can sort of go from there. So this is the B cover for Radiant Black 31.
Mm-hmm.
And, people might see, Kyle, it looks like there's some bits of some other stuff going off on the sides there.
Yeah, there are some other things. Why don't we? We could
You show them the whole
probably
one?
we could show that. Yeah.
All right. But only because you asked so nicely.
How about that?
Oh,
So this is connecting B covers on issues 31 through 36.
Hey, Michael. Who's that dude with that cool chain and his back to us?
Oh, Carl, we'll get to him. Don't
Oh,
worry.
okay.
So these covers are open order, available to everyone. You can ask your store to get this instead of the main cover or as well as it. And the only way to get the full connecting image is to get all 6 across the arc.
Yep. Should we touch on our issue 32 covers because those are also currently out? and
Yeah,
solicited?
people have seen the 32 covers, so it's not going to be too secret to show them, right?
I think we can show it.
Okay, well, let's start with the A cover then first. That's this one.
Look at that. Illustrated by Eduardo and colored by Marcelo.
Right. Obviously, everybody's already seen the B cover, but do you want to show them the C cover?
Oh, absolutely. So the C cover, one of my favorite people and illustrators in comics making his Massiverse debut. This is Jock doing a Radiant Black God Mode cover for us. And when I say he's one of my favorite artists, I literally have here on my wall a drawing of Batman he did for me the first time we met in 2011.
That's cool.
Isn't that fun? So this was awesome for Jock to make time was really special for us on this one.
Now, people have seen those. Those are out in solicits. Those are public. We're not spilling any secrets by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to show them issue? You want to talk about issue 33? Issue 33 is pretty cool.
I think 33 is pretty cool, and you're getting it here first because we love you all that much. I also want to mention that the other spot to see stuff going forward like this and more is going to be our Black Market newsletter. If you're not already subscribed, now is a great time to do it. You can subscribe. Actually, I'm going to put the link up right here on screen. And we are going to go and put that up there. So if you go to blackmarket.la/newsletter, or honestly, if you just go to blackmarket.la, there's a newsletter link right there. That's where we will be dropping all sorts of news and announcements, more on the audiobook. We also do a lot of cool limited edition stuff through the newsletter that we make available through the newsletter first, and sometimes only there. Like our big accordion fold-out issue of Radiant Black 18. Those were only available through the newsletter. Our Black Market exclusive with a gorgeous dust jacket and signed book plates from Marcelo and myself of our massive edition hardcover. Those were only available through the newsletter. So you definitely want to jump on that now. And we may have some fun cover stuff of our own coming up through that as well. But I guess that brings us to this reveal. So these are actually for the month of April.
So we're doing something that we've never done before. And I think that the people of you who have been with us since the start will know that that means something pretty special. Radiant Black 31 is out in February, start of a new era for the Massiverse. Issue 32 is out in March, and so is issue 25 of Rogue Sun. We'll be talking more about that as we get to it, but same deal. Brand new jumping on point, new status quo, exciting new stuff, cool new things going on. In issue 33, of Radiant Black, and I'm going to show the C cover first. We're doing something crazy. For basically the first time ever, Radiant Black will be appearing in Rogue Sun, and Rogue Sun will be appearing in Radiant Black. It is a crossover that is not a supermassive. It is self-contained within those two issues. It's more special than that. So we've said since the start, if you just want to read Radiant Black, you only read Radiant Black. If you just want to read Rogue Sun, you only read Rogue Sun. We'd love it if you read both. We think you'll love both. But we don't want you to have to read the other book. So this crossover is completely self-contained for both books in Radiant Black 33 and Rogue Sun 26. So if you read Radiant Black 33, you will get a full story crossover experience.
Yeah.
If you read Rogue Sun 26, you will get a full story crossover experience. If you read both, you will see how that crossover affects the main characters of both stories.
And yes, that is a Rod Reese cover, like as we said, in foil, and this will be the 1 in 25C cover of Radiant Black, number 33, and that will be out in April. But what about the other covers, Michael, for Radiant Black 33?
I'd love to show the A cover, because the A cover will give people a bit of a hint as to why this entire thing is happening.
Nice.
So that's a vampire
Oh,
werewolf.
and there's the regional.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn.
hold on. We gotta. I don't know how I highlight you here.
Hold on. If I stop sharing to make Marcelo bigger, Marcelo, can you hold that up again for the audience?
Wow. That's amazing, man.
There we go. Look at that. Gorgeous.
So
Marcelo,
Thanks.
is that on sale or is that available anywhere?
Yeah.
Where
on sale.
where can people get it from? I'll put a link up.
Chiaroscuro Studios.
Let's see.
So while Kyle does that, so those of you who are reading Rogue Sun may know that that is a Blood Moon, who are a clan of vampire werewolves who normally stay very local to New Orleans. One of them isn't. Why? What for? What are they doing in Chicago? How do you fight a vampire werewolf? All great questions that you will be able to find out.
Yeah. That is also that is a tricky one, isn't it? How do you fight a vampire werewolf? Well, you'll have to read issue 34 in Rogue Sun 26 to find out. And actually, just to put it up here, so if you're interested in that piece of art, you can go to that link right there, chiaroscuro-studios.com. I assume it's available now, Marcelo. I'll try to put all of these links in the show notes of this video once the live stream is out there and permanent. But I'm sure there's links in Marcelo's Instagram profile probably as well. So that's the A cover. We should probably hold off on. Should we hold off on the Rogue Sun? So we're gonna do a Rogue Sun creative team live stream as well. But I think these are gonna become public before then, aren't they, Michael? Should we give the folks a special early look here, because
The Rogue Sun cover's pretty cool.
it's a pretty good one. I say we
Right.
do it,
Well, that's good because I've already done it.
and I'm gonna start eating my donut. That's how much I love this cover.
So
Yeah.
Riley in the chat, while you guys all marvel at this gorgeous cover by Stefano Simeone, Riley in the chat is asking, is each issue a different team up, or is each one like a different point of view of the same story? And that's a great question. I think what I would say is, without wanting to spoil it, we
The
spent.
answer is yes.
Yeah, the answer is sort of yes. There is one thing happens, and you will see some amount of that thing happening in both books. And I don't really want to say any. All I want to say more than that, actually, because I do want to say this. We really spent a lot of time working out the way to do this that did not feel like you had to get both, but you got something extra out of getting both.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of where we landed on it. And I think you guys will be happy once you read it. As to which one you read first, the Rogue Sun issue will be out in advance. And it won't. I think it's out 2 weeks before the Radiant Black issue, although it might be down to 1 week. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter which order you read them in, wildly enough. So feel free to read them in release order, and that will be fine. Kyle, will we show them the B cover as well?
Someone is
Oh, I think we should. What's up, Eduardo?
someone in the chat is telling here that he searched for Marcelo's name on the Chiaroscuro site, and the page is not there. Do you know if they will upload it, Marcelo?
Not yet, but
Okay.
yeah.
Marcelo, will you
Very
make
soon.
will you make an announcement when it goes live?
Sorry.
Marcelo, will you announce when it goes live? Will you be able to do a post once when it is live?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'll try to let me know, and I'll make sure it's unless it sells already. I'll put it a link in the newsletter as well.
Yeah.
So our Rogue Sun variant covers for this arc are all homages to comics past that we all love, and they are all drawn by Marcelo.
They are. Do we
Yeah.
want to
Who
touch
is-
on this first, Michael?
Oh, will Dylan Marshall finally actually meet without anyone controlling Dylan's body? All I can say is, gosh, I hope so.
It would be a gag. We love to commit to the bit over here. That'd be a hard bit to perpetuate at this point. I think they've met. Rogue Sun and Radiant Black have met now on 4 different adventures.
I
And
did once very seriously pitch that them meeting should be the final page ever of the Massiverse, where they like look at each other and like, hey, we've never met. I'm Marshall, I'm Dylan, shake hands, end of books, forever. But no, it looks like it might happen in April. Or maybe it won't. Who can say what's going on?
tune in.
So all of our B covers are 1 in 25 variants on Rogue Sun that are homages to some of our favorite comics drawn by Marcelo. And this one is no exception. It's our first ever team up. We had to homage one of the greatest team ups of all time.
Yeah.
Look at that. So, Michael, what issue is this teaming up?
This, which issue are we homaging?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Are we
Yes,
homaging?
this is the incredible Superman Spider-Man crossover, first of its kind in its own way, and I mean, look at what Marcelo has done here. It's amazing. And I gotta we're not gonna show it because it's not ready. The one Marcelo's done for the issue after this, I like even more than this one.
Oh, yeah, that one's a good one.
That
Yeah.
one that just came in. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
that's a good one.
All right.
Yes, this is the B cover, Garzilla. This is a 1 in 25 B cover, and as Michael said, we're going to be doing for Rogue Sun. Marcelo is doing all of the B covers right now that are 1 in 25s for Rogue Sun, and they are all designed at the moment as really, really cool homage covers.
Yeah. All right, Kyle, that's a lot. Are there any
That is
other
a lot.
secrets that you would like to spill? Will we take some questions?
I mean, we could show the people a few more, like one or two more things, because what we do have, Michael, we have a whole bunch of art, colored pages. We don't have to show them with letters, but it might be fun to pull a few to highlight from issue number 31, especially as Final Order Cutoff is coming up in the next about 2 weeks.
But Kyle, we can't show them final pages from issue 31.
But we must, Michael.
Oh, well, if we must, then I suppose there's nothing we can do. Is there a page in particular you'd like to show?
I really like the double page spreads in 31. I also really like maybe we show what happened to that big giant robot that crashed through State Street, Lake and State.
Big giant robot. That's interesting. When was the last time we saw the big giant robot, Kyle?
Well, the wreckage was just kind of still there. Was the last time we saw it.
It's interesting because the wreckage is just kind of still there.
It is just kind of still there. Look at that.
Yes,
sorry,
unfortunately,
I muted you, Marcelo. My bad.
Unfortunately, it takes a really long time to move a giant robot that isn't moving itself.
It does. So that's going to be something that has to get dealt with, especially. I mean, I wonder if only someone had abilities that allowed them to manipulate gravity in a way that would make moving it easier.
You'd be astonished by how unhelpful that man can be when he wants to be, Kyle.
That's fairly accurate.
All right. What else would you like to show? Maybe one more?
Mr. Higgins, how is the Radiant Black action figure doing? It is not in existence. That's how it's doing. We get asked about action figures a lot, and we were working on. I actually have a prototype over here of a soft vinyl, potentially, of Radiant Black. Definitely something we still love to do. It's a bandwidth thing. We're all, we're stretched thin. But the reality is, for action figures, we all love action figures. We want to do it the right way. Unfortunately, action figures are also really expensive to do them at the quality and level that I think we all would want to do if it's a Radiant Black or Massiverse figure.
Yes. Similarly to the people who keep asking when we will do an animated series, if you have $13 million you'd like to give us an email and we will have a serious talk about making it happen. Until then, we have to wait for someone with $13 million to offer us $13 million.
Awesome.
All right,
we can
Kyle,
show a few more things.
Yeah, what
sorry,
would you like
guys,
to show?
Marcelo and Eduardo, sorry, I keep muting you guys just because I think there's some feedback coming through. I think it's actually on Marcelo's. So Marcelo, just unmute yourself when you're gonna talk here. Did he freeze? Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, he's good.
So Michael, maybe we could show the first time Marshall is gonna fly into his new city.
Ooh. Okay, I do have that right here. In fact, let me bring that up for you. I have so many things open. Hold on, let me find. So many spoiler things open that I have to dodge to show you the things that I'm allowed to show you.
So while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our really exciting new reel we just dropped today. It's over on the Massiverse YouTube, which you all are probably watching this on, or most of you are watching this on at the moment. Let me pull this up here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and share this here. Oh, Michael's already got it up. Look at that. It's a pretty cool shot. Is there more, Michael?
I mean, there's a whole other issue, Kyle, but we can't show them that, otherwise they won't go buy it in February.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
We'll be there will be more of this issue for you to see over the next coming weeks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to maybe take some questions?
We can do that.
All right. So if people want to hop in, if you're in the chat, ideally, if you're in the chat on the Massive Verse channel, I think that's the one that I can see most easily here. So if you want to hop in the chat on there and ask some questions, we'll pick out a couple and then we will probably wrap up.
Yep. Okay. Let's see here.
You guys want to see a thumbnail from 32?
Eduardo, no! Eduardo, stop it! No, spoilers, no. I'd like to see those thumbnails later.
Yeah,
work
actually, I'd
reasons,
like to see those
but
too.
It's just Marshall on his phone.
it is just Marshall on his phone. Marshall's
Yeah, it
spending a
is.
lot of time on his phone
Yeah.
lately.
All right, tell you what, while we're waiting on that, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and play this for everybody. Let's see if I can get this to work. Screen share. Okay. All right, here we go.
The same old superhero stuff is boring. Radiant Black isn't your everyday comic, but it is the one that'll make you believe there's a greater conspiracy brewing at your local donut shop. Kidding. I'm Kyle Higgins, co-creator of Radiant Black, a critically acclaimed creator-owned superhero series for a new generation. I know, bold claim. So what exactly do I mean? Well, for the last 4 years, we've dedicated ourselves to pushing the boundaries on what a modern superhero comic can be. Existential blacklight issues, full-on orchestral scores, fold-out origins, dual timelines under variant covers, and even secret cartoons inside the book starring Batman Beyond's Will Friedle. We're about to enter our biggest era yet. So tonight, we're live spilling major secrets and explaining why you should be more suspicious of your local donut shop. Tune in at 6 p.m. Pacific and witness all the craziness we have in store for Radiant Black and the Massiveverse, as together we push the envelope on what modern superheroes can and should be. The same.
There we go.
All right.
So share it with your friends, like and repost on the platforms you see it on. I think let's get the word out even more so we can continue making really dope stuff and give you all early access sneak peeks at it.
Someone just made a thumbs up appear, and I don't know if that was me or not. That's fine. Let's do. Here's a question from Greg that we get asked a fair bit. Any plans for a Radiant Yellow miniseries? And Kyle, that's going to be pretty difficult at the moment, right?
It is, especially since we don't actually know what happened with Radiant Yellow, Wendell, or the Yellow Radiant. I mean, I think we did see, if people were to go over to read the Story So Far preview, which you can get for free right now at radiant.black/catchup, you would probably see, you'd be able to see a little early tease that looks very, I don't know, almost jaundice in color. Michael, is that a fair
Yeah, I saw
yellowish
something.
statement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? Question from Owens. Will we see Ember's or Uncle Pete's Pizza return? Marshall's no longer in Lockport, is the thing.
He's not.
He's
But
moved to the big city.
But he did promise Nathan's mom that she would hear from him in a not creepy way. That was definitely specified. So there may be some instances and reasons for Marshall to head back to Lockport and grab a beer at his favorite bar that killed his best friend.
You know, you've always, just for old time's sake, right?
Really, yeah.
Question from Riley: will Marshall ever get a love interest? Here is what I would like to say. Marshall's wondering that too, and that certainly is starting. It's starting to become a question that Marshall's asking himself. And unfortunately, the ways to sort of answer that question in 2025 are pretty limited. So he's going to be trying some stuff, and you guys can see if it works or not.
I'm saying nothing on this, and I'm going to continue to eat my donut.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Good.
If you guys want to go to my Instagram, perhaps there are some clues of that.
Question for Eduardo and Marcelo. Do you guys hate Kyle for making you create so many characters and designs? And I just need to be clear before they jump in. I will often get messages from these guys with a design for a guy that we have not asked for. They'll just be like, hey, I was just sort of chilling, and in between pages, I designed the coolest dude you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Did you get the question, Marcelo?
I don't hate Kyle. It is the design is cool. Just Shift is more difficult design for me, and Premiere is very difficult.
Why is Premiere difficult? I am curious. Like, what?
There were like
I don't know.
300 Premiere versions of
Oh, that's
Premiere.
true. We did a lot of
Yeah.
versions.
I think Premiere is the most villain, right? So he's a bad guy. So it's difficult to draw this guy. I don't know.
But it's one of the best designs, right? The Premiere design is one of the best for me. I don't hate Kyle because it's Marcelo that does all the designs, so I just have fun. I just had fun with I just have fun when the designs are ready, you know. Then they send me the design and say, draw this cool guy here wearing a jacket. Then let's do it, you know.
Well, speaking of, I guess on the design front, this has popped up a bunch of times in the chat. Yes, there are some pretty sick helmets behind me. There's also another one that my microphone is blocking up above.
Oh, that's just no.
Oh,
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that
no
cool?
one.
Haven't saw that
I can
one.
I can pull them out if you guys want to see them. So first up, we have Inferno Girl Red.
Whoa.
I haven't saw this one yet.
She's a little
That's
dusty.
cool.
Goes
Whoa.
on back like this. So you can
Whoa, nice.
And you can see through it? I hope so, right?
technically.
Kyle, you cannot wear this on a live stream. You have not. You aren't mic'd. It's not. No. Okay. While he's doing that,
Yeah.
yes asked. We saw 33A and C. Can we see B2? Yeah, I'll show 33B. It's part of that big connecting cover. All of the B covers are. So you have actually seen what the part looks like as part of the bigger picture. But I will show you. Kyle, you still haven't got that off, huh? Okay. I will show you that standalone. That is the 33B cover right there. He's put another helmet on. Okay.
Yeah, we got Radiant Black on the chat here, guys.
Okay. Question from Jalen. Any chance of further additions to the card game, like No One or even Moon Man? Oh my god. So, for people who don't know, we've just finished shipping, or shipping's almost complete, on the Kickstarter for the Massive-verse fighting card game. If people go to the Black Market Narrative account, they'll see more links about that and where they can go to find out more about that. Yeah, hopefully. We would love to do more, and I know the guys at Solus Games have had some ideas about some new stuff. It comes down to everybody's time and bandwidth, and it being sort of a feasible production for all of us. So I'd like to think that that's a conversation that we will have at some point. The best thing you can do is recommend that all your friends pick up what we've put out so far.
I
Speaking
don't know
of
what the question was, but I couldn't hear it.
That's fine. I know. That's why I don't want you to be putting helmets on while we're doing a live stream. I was so clear. Speaking of stories so far, is the green guy in the third panel for the coming in 2025 section Shift or another green guy? It's not Shift. I'll tell you that much for free.
Yeah.
Nubby, is Nathan's mum in danger? Not right now. We're all in danger, sort of existentially.
Give it 4
climate
issues.
change and alien invasions and stuff.
Right.
Who can say? Okay. All right.
Oh, that would actually be really funny, Dave. Seeing Marshall strike out. Wait, that's mean. You don't know. Maybe he's a great date. Probably an okay first date.
All right. Why don't, if there's one more question here, and I feel like that would be a good one to end on. Kyle and Marcelo, how did you guys meet before Radiant Black?
Oh, that is a good question. We met through Eduardo, actually. And it was actually, Eduardo, you and I met through Rod Reese originally when we were doing Hadrian's Wall. And then you joined us to do some pages on a couple issues, I believe. And so when Matt Groom decided, first of all, when I discovered that Matt wanted to write comic books and was a very good comic book writer, which he somehow kept from me for a year, despite us talking pretty much every day and recording at least once a month for the Ranger Danger Boom Rooms, I offered to help put together, a book pitch and ultimately a series with him that he would write as his first creator-owned book, and I would edit. And that we reached out to Eduardo. Eduardo really liked the idea. He joined us, and he said, "I have this friend named Marcelo who I'd really like to color the book." And all of a sudden, we started getting these pages in, and we were all going, "Who is this? Oh my God!" There was a double-page spread with a dragon, in particular, that was like next level. And so I was showing the self-made book to Daphne Plebin at Boom, who was my editor on Power Rangers, and I was trying to really kind of like pump up Eduardo and Matt, in particular Matt, for some potential writing work. And Daphne just kept saying, "Yes, they're both quite good, but who is this colorist? I'm going to steal them." And then she did. I said, "Please don't steal them," but she didn't listen. And so all of a sudden, Marcelo was joining us on Power Rangers, coloring a couple of the issues, including the last book I wrote for Boom and Saban. I guess it was Hasbro at that time, but for Power Rangers Soul of the Dragon. And so Giuseppe Carafo, I think is how you say his name, was the illustrator, and Marcelo colored the entire graphic novel. And then when I was planning what would become Radiant Black, it was a different kind of version early on that Eduardo and I were talking about doing. And then as it turned into what it's become, Eduardo was the one messaging me saying, "You really need to talk to Marcelo. He loves Super Sentai, and I feel like he would really understand this." And the rest is kind of history there. But what was it like from your...
And then
Let's see if we can
Kyle
get little
stole
hearts pop.
Marcelo from me too.
Marcelo, what was it like from your perspective?
Sorry.
What was
Como,
it like from your perspective?
como você. Qual é que é a sua história de como você conheceu o Kyle?
Oh, the same story. We worked together in Power Rangers, and you talked to me about the book of gods. Your
Ordinary
book,
Gods?
yeah,
Ordinary
ordinary
Gods,
gods.
yeah.
For you asked me to color, but I don't have time to color the but um, m- moms, you uh, you talk to me about the radiant black. So it's the same story. It's the same story. But Eduardo uh, present.
I showed Kyle some of Marcelo's pages from a project he did here in Brazil called Capitão Feio. I
Yeah,
showed him some pages. So I said Marcelo can also draw. Check out his work. And then when Marcelo started doing concepts for Radiant Black, immediately we knew he was the guy for it. You know.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we'll probably wrap up, Kyle, unless you've got anything else you want to really cover.
I think the only other thing, I just saw this question. This is actually a really great way to just kind of end and talk about what kind of the plan is this year. Are there any new Massiverse titles planned, or is it just Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, Infernal Girl Red for the next year? So, exactly. That's pretty much the plan right now. So, when we describe this as our rebuild era, um, the way we look at it is the core three titles being Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, and Infernal Girl Red. Radiant Black and Rogue Sun are monthly comics. They'll be coming out monthly. There will be, I believe it a month in between each arc, Michael, for each book,
A
and
month
then
or
a
two,
trade
yeah, we haven't
paperback.
quite
It's something like
close.
that. Yeah. It'll basically be the arc and then a month off with the trade paperback, and then we're back with the next arc, and that's the plan on Radiant Black and Rogue Sun. And then Infernal Girl Red is designed to be graphic novels. Now we serialize those as three print editions first in the direct market, which is how we did book one. But we'll probably do something very similar here with book two. I'm happy to report that book two is done. It's fully drawn, colored, and lettered. Michael's putting together back matter now. We're going to be getting that printed, so we'll have updates on that for Kickstarter backers, as well as our plans for release in the direct market. We're kind of looking at this year, and we're as a way to we're basically approaching it where we're going to be anchoring with kind of like one big thing every month. So in February, it's Radiant Black 31, which is the return of the series. In March, it's Rogue Sun 25, the return of Rogue Sun. New jumping on point as well. We'll be doing a big creator live stream for Rogue Sun in the coming weeks, so we'll be announcing that. You'll hear from that, or hear it from us on that front very soon. And then in April, we have the Radiant Black Rogue Sun low-key crossover there that we talked about today. We are also releasing the Supermassive trade paperback. So it's the first time that we're collecting Supermassive 2022 through 2024, so the 3 different years will be in one trade paperback. That's a really fun one because we also designed those not only to be standalone stories, but if you read the 3 in one go, there's actually an arc across those 3, considering it was Supermassive 2022 where Marshall first got his glimpse of Premiere and the Catalyst robots. And then in May, we are not firm on this, but we're kind of targeting May for the audiobook for Radiant Black Volume 1. Again, you can stay up to date for announcements and news on that front, and probably some early clips if you sign up for the Radiant Black or the Black Market Narrative newsletter. I'm going to put that link up again right here. So we also have a version, a link through radiant.black/newsletters. That's probably a little easier to remember. You can sign up for it there. And then June and beyond, I think it's a little early to tell you about, but we have plans through the rest of the year. We're also working on the No One feature film right now. Brian Buccellato and I are currently writing that. So we'll be able to talk more about the timeline on that and production. And I'm hoping to do a bunch of behind the scenes stuff for that throughout the making of it, again, through our Black Market Narrative newsletter. So yeah, there's a lot going on, but the core, like the focus for us is getting back on schedule, Radiant Black and Rogue Sun being there every single month on stands. And, just to end it with letting everyone know, like, first of all, how much we appreciate your excitement, your support. If you go into your comic store and you look around, I'm willing to bet you're not going to see a whole lot of books that are numbered above issue 20, issue 25, now in the case of Radiant Black, issue 30. And you're definitely not going to see a lot of independent books with numbers that high. It's a really, really tough market. It's a challenging time in our industry for a variety of reasons. But now more than ever, it's so important to make sure you're ordering your books with your local comic store for a couple of reasons. One, because that's a guaranteed, you're going to get it if you put in pre-orders with your store. But two, it lets your store know your excitement for the book. And the more people that are excited about the books, the more the retailers have confidence in what we're doing. And hopefully they can help pass the word on to potential new customers as well. So we're going to be doing a lot of messaging over the coming weeks, specifically to retailers, as well as potential new readers and old readers and longtime readers alike. But we, like I said, it's a really important time now to support the books as best everyone can, because it's tough. Like we are truly independent. Like there's no venture capital here, nothing like that at all. We are bootstrapping everything. This is truly an independent, creator-owned superhero universe, and it's why we're able to do so many crazy things and take such wild swings. But it's also why, support and telling more people about the line is so important, because that's the only way that we can actually keep this going and keep the books alive. So we're heading into 2025, really, really excited. We have some crazy swings we're going to be doing, and can't wait to tell you more and show you what we've got up our sleeves, starting with Radiant Black number 31.
So
coming this
on
February.
that, Kyle, I would love to just say two things before we wrap up. Number one, if you had questions that we didn't get to, I'm sorry, it's getting really late for Marcelo and Eduardo. I think it's after midnight. We are going to be doing a bunch of stuff like this over the next weeks and months as we head into this. So hopefully AMAs on both Reddit and League of Comic Geeks that we're trying to line up. Everyone's sort of, we got podcasts and interviews, and there's a letters column in Radiant Black that you can write an email to if you are fine with getting an email from me. Like, you'll get an answer in the book 3 months from now when it comes out. So there's lots of ways that you can ask us questions and get to us over the next couple of weeks, but thank you. And number two, just to wrap up, now we have sent issue 31 to Image. So for the next couple of weeks, it's available to order. Now is the time to go tell your store you want a copy.
Yep. And again, one more time, that link if you're looking to catch up or even get yourself any volumes you're missing. Or if you have friends who you think would really like this series and you want to get them on board or get them copies to check out, if you go to radiant.black/catch-up, ketchup, not the condiment, but the word catch up. We are actually offering all 6 volumes of Radiant Black right now directly from us. Ryan Sidoti of Circle Guy News and the Invincible podcast works with us at Black Market Narrative. Ryan handles all of our crazy logistics with shipping and fulfillment. We are you're literally buying the trade paperbacks from Black Market Narrative right now. We're offering them at 15% off. And if you're not a current Black Market Narrative newsletter subscriber, and that applies to of the whether all included in 6 of Radiant Black. So we went and all the 0.5 issues and everything all properly laid out in their correct order. So volumes 5 and 6 really do showcase the totality and the extent of the, you know, the ambition and the swing that we took with this very different type of comic book event. So once again, I'm just going to put that up one more time just so you've got it. Radiant.black/catch-up.
Great. Right. Thank you, Kyle, Eduardo, Marcelo.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
everybody.
guys. Yeah.
Everybody,
And until next time,
Thanks,
everybody,
guys.
stay radiant.
stay radiant, guys.
Stay
See ya.
ready.
Okay, everybody chill because your computers are uploading in the background, so I'll let you know when it's done.